All right, my car is going in for service, and I don't know, I have some weird superstition that I like to have a clean engine when I take it in for service because I feel like they're gonna treat my car better. Is that true? Probably not. So today we're doing a quick and simple engine detail, kind of engine cleanup on my Land Cruiser engine. It's not that dirty because I do this often, but I wanted to show you just how I do it. These are my tips and tricks. And with a modern car, most modern cars, you could obviously do your own research on your particular car. But on most modern cars, you don't really need to bag anything off, so you could pretty much go to town without going too much to town. So the first step that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this electric pump sprayer. I put 2 ounces of the Super Soaper in it, and I'm going in for a pre-soak. As I do this, the things that I'm gonna try to avoid is a lot of this wiring that is over on this side of the car. I'm still gonna hit it a little bit, but I'm just not gonna over drench it. And as you can see, this pump sprayer is nice because I don't have to constantly do anything with it. But the idea is just to get the solution to start breaking down. And obviously with the spray pattern of this is nice because it'll reach into areas that I wouldn't normally get to. So I like to move around all over the place and get in there. And I'm just trying not to oversaturate too much. And then one area, I like to get the back firewall there. And then I also like to do the underside of the hood as well while I'm here. Just note that when you do an engine detail, you're probably gonna need to wash your car after. Probably goes without saying, but definitely gonna need to wash your car after. And if you do, if this liner is falling off, I would maybe just not pressure wash this too much. Some of these liners start hanging down and they look crazy, so just avoid that if you need to. And one thing you could also do if you have a lot of leaves and buildup, I don't really have any or too many leaves under here, so I could just pull them out. But sometimes a blower, which you're gonna use later, sometimes a blower you can kind of go through and blow any loose dirt and debris too. Same with the outside of the car. I don't go with a pre-rinse. You do want to make sure, pre-rinse. You do want to make sure that your engine is cooled down to the touch before you pre-soak, obviously. And then I just take my foam cannon. If you have leftover soap from doing a car wash last time or whatever, you don't need a full foam cannon. But again, I do, this would be about 2 ounces in half a foam cannon, or 4 ounces of the Super Soaper. I don't need to, and I didn't use any crazy, degreasers or anything like that, mainly because my engine compartment's not that dirty. So now that I pre-soaked and I've kind of let that dwell a little bit, I'm gonna go in and foam it all. Looks a little crazier than it actually is, but again, not going too crazy with it either. And as the foam is dwelling, you can kind of repurpose your tire brushes, if you use a lot of brushes for your rims and tires, to go in and just agitate that foam. So you can kind of go all over and just agitate it, and you're gonna really help break up that dirt and grime and debris. Usually I start with the bigger areas with the bigger brush, and then I'll go in with like a little tiny brush and do any detailed areas that the bigger brush can't fit into. And again, the soap, though, is going to be doing the majority of the work, so really I'm just kind of helping the soap a little bit and then making it look perfect. But the real secret, the real trick comes in the last part, and we'll show you when you dress it all up. When it comes to rinsing it, I like to rinse from the top down. Notice I didn't scrub under here because this is painted, so I didn't want to do anything to kind of scratch that or harm that in any way. And I also didn't really spray the liner at all, the liner being black. I don't need to oversaturate that with any cleaner. It's going to get hit with the water. I switched up the nozzle because I didn't want too much of a direct stream on my nozzle. Some people use a garden hose at this point, which I think works totally fine as well if you don't want a pressure washer, because I prefer using a pressure washer. I just am aware, again, of not holding the steady stream on anywhere that may be really damaging. You know, you don't want to be right by the wires and then you're like spraying this close to the wires. So obviously, common sense. I know it's not so common, but try to use as much common sense as you can. I'm going to rinse it down. And once you have it completely rinsed off, I don't know if it's just superstition or what it is, but this is the point where I like to actually start the engine. So I've done hundreds and hundreds of engine details. I've only had a problem one time. Water got underneath the spark plugs, but I don't know what happened there. I'm gonna blame it on the Audi. But every time what I do, after I'm done rinsing it and cleaning it, I just start the car and I let it run for about 5 minutes. So I'll do that now. And then I'm gonna show you how I use my Ryobi blower to get water out of any other area as well. And every time that starts up, I'm just like, I didn't mess anything up too much yet. And as it's running again for about 5 minutes or so, it's just letting the fan go and blow some stuff out. But I also am going to take my Ryobi blower and just start blowing everything out as well and trying to get the engine dry because I do want to dress it. Same rules apply even with air as it would with a steady stream of water. You don't want to be holding the air, you know, too much right on the wires or any part that may be a little bit more sensitive. Obviously the engine cover can take it, but any area that, you know, there's thin wires, you don't want to really hold the air directly on it. So, but again, with the engine on and the blower, you could also use compressed air if you want. It's just going to make quick work of getting the engine dry so that we could dress it. Okay, and you can see how much better the engine looks by just a simple foam scrub and rinse, but we're gonna make it look even more amazing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take All Dressed Up that I have already pre-diluted at 4:1, and I'm gonna completely douse the engine. I'm gonna avoid up here this. I'm gonna hit with maybe like Tough Shell or a quick detail spray to kind of wipe this down so I don't get water spots up here. But for the full engine, I'm just gonna spray. And this I'm gonna spray everywhere too. And I'm gonna let it level and then I'll wipe it in later. But this is really kind of the cherry on top. This is really what makes the engine pop. Just dressing it all down. And you'd be amazed at how many people, when they pop the hood and your engine looks good, they're like, wow, you really maintain this. I'm like, yeah, about 4 times a year I'll wash my engine. That's about it. So I like to let the dressing dwell for a little bit too, because it'll self-level. At this point, what you could do is you could just spray the dressing on your engine and leave it, and it'll pretty much self-level. You might get some high spots here and there, but for the most part, it will self-level and you'd be good to go. But for this video's purpose, I guess, I'm gonna rub it in. And actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start up here. I'm just gonna wipe this off so I don't have any water spots and so it looks nice too. I just think, like, as a detailer, I always appreciate when someone brings their car in that's kind of, you know, it doesn't have trash everywhere and it's kind of cleaned up. And so I kind of think the same thing for a mechanic. Maybe it's not even true. Maybe they don't even care. Maybe it's just in my head. But I think that if you bring a car in and they pop the hood and the engine's clean, looks nice, gives them a nicer platform to work on, I feel like they will treat your car better as well. So, all right, now that I got that part, the last part to do is I just kind of come through with my dirty towel and kind of rub everything in. Just kind of level the dressing everywhere that I can honestly just reach. And if I can't reach it with the microfiber towel, then it self-levels and dwells, and we'll just sit there and dwell and dry and you'll be good to go. But that is looking great, and that's pretty much just a quick, I don't know, 15-20 minute engine detail to make your engine look nice. It's also a great time to just top off any windshield wiper fluid or wipe down the battery terminals. And I swear, just like an oil change, I'm pretty sure your car runs better when the engine's clean. Pretty sure. There you go. There's my quick, I don't know, 20-minute hack on how to detail your engine. So if you're taking it in for a mechanic, they'll treat your car better, right? Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. I will, of course, link all the products below. there you go. Now we're looking good and it's set for the next few months. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. Catch you on the next one. See ya.